Dear students, I am Father Thomas P.J., Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Electronics and Instrumentation, Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. Let's have an idea on nexus between technology and sustainable development. Sustainable development is probably one of the most serious challenges that humanity ever faced. The fundamental issues should be addressed immediately at local, regional, and global levels. The role of science and technology is critical at all these levels. Scientific knowledge and suitable technologies are vital to resolving the economic, social, and environmental problems that make our system unsustainable. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister and architect of modern India, stated, "Science and technology have freed humanity from many burdens and given us these new perspectives and great power. This power can be used for the good of all if wisdom governs our actions. But if the world is mad and foolish, it can destroy itself just when great advances and triumphs are almost without grasp." Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister of India, told, "Importance of technology is increasing every day. We must not deprive our children of technology. If we do so, then it's a social crime." The scientific technological community can take a lead in tackling major problems faced by living community. Fighting against disease, population growth and urbanization, the digital or information divide, coping with climate change, confronting water crisis, defending the soil, preserving forest, fisheries and biodiversity, building a new ethic of global stewardship. Technology should be seen as a double-edged sword in our lives with respect to sustainable development. On one hand, technology provides opportunities to move towards the path of sustainability, namely elimination of disease, improvement in the standard of living, etc. But on the other hand, contribute to climate change and environmental pollution, social and economic disparities and alienation. The Department of Economics and Social Affairs, United Nations, identifies technology, science, and capacity building as major pillars of the means of implementation of the post-2015 agenda and of Rio 20 follow-up process. In order to eradicate poverty and reorient current and sustainable development trajectories over the period 2015 to 2030, affordable technological solutions have to be developed and disseminated widely in the next 10 years. The term appropriate technology is used to describe the use of technology that results in less negative impacts on environment and society. That is, technology should be both environmentally sustainable and socially appropriate. Appropriate technology means that technology adopted should be energy efficient, suitable, cost effective, sustainable, and acceptable to the society. Agricultural technology and sustainable development. Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO of United Nations, states, today it is estimated that almost 690 million people are going hungry. For decades, FAO has used the prevalence of undernourishment indicator to estimate the extent of hunger in the world. Thus, hunger may also be referred to as undernourishment. According to FAO, a person is food insecure when they lack regular access to enough safe and nutritious food for normal growth and development and an active and healthy life. This may be due to unavailability of food and or lack of resources to obtain food. Food insecurity can be experienced at different levels of severity. FAO measures food insecurity using the Food Insecurity Experience Scale. Category of people under severe food insecurity has no food for a day or more. Category of people under moderate food insecurity are compromising on food quality and variety or reducing food quantity, skipping meals. Category of people under food security to mild food insecurity has uncertainty regarding ability to obtain food. According to FAO estimates, in the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2020 report, India is home to the largest undernourished population in the world, 189.2 million people. That is 14% of our population is undernourished. 20% of children under 5 are underweight. 34.7% of children under 5 years of age are stunted. 51.4% women in the reproductive age are anemic. Niti Aayog says 20 states, 3 union territories scored less than 50 points in zero hunger category. In this context, United Nations urges member states, relevant United Nations organizations, and other stakeholders to strengthen efforts to improve the development of sustainable agriculture technologies and their transfer and dissemination under mutually agreed terms to developing countries, especially the least developed countries. It is estimated that the global food demand will rise by at least 60% from now by the year 2050. It will be a great challenge to feed 9 billion plus population if we cannot make production and consumption more sustainable. Farming comes in many forms, but how to make this practice sustainable? Need of the hour is sustainable agriculture with the help of an appropriate technology. Some of the sustainable agriculture technologies which are practiced are discussed here. Eco-friendly farming practices or good agricultural practices. Organic farming is the form of agriculture that relies on techniques such as crop rotation, green manure, compost, and biological pest control. Organic farming uses fertilizers and pesticides but excludes or strictly limits the use of manufactured or synthetic fertilizers. 7 reasons why organic farming is good for environment. 1. Uses fewer chemicals. 2. Reduces water pollution. 3. Conserve water. 4. Create healthier soil. 5. Combats soil erosion. 6. Reduces greenhouse gas emission. 7. Promote biodiversity. Unmanned aerial vehicles or drones with advanced sensors, powerful cameras, and onboard computers help large-scale farmers to assess plant health by detecting crop diseases at an early stage. Drones are also used for tracing wild animal count, detecting forest fires, and also to spot illegal activities such as sub-band cultivations, animal poaching, and the like. Terrace farming refers to the act of creating steps or terrace on mountain slope to carry out farming activities. Each level consists of various crops being grown. The advantage is that rains do not wash away the nutrient altogether, but they are pushed down to the lower levels. These steps also prevent a free-flowing avalanche of water that might destroy all crops. Mobile apps drive global agriculture. Spreading agricultural related information to farmers in the poorest communities are made easier with the help of cloud computing, integrated IT systems, online education, and proliferation of mobile phones. One of the benefits of such connectivity and information flow is that it helps farmers to make better land management decisions. Biotechnology and genetic engineering in agriculture has not only enhanced crop yield but also produced drought resistant, salt tolerant, and disease resistant species so as to adapt to the changing climate. Different fields of agriculture implemented biotechnology are biofertilizer technologies, molecular breeding, disease diagnostics and vaccines, biofuels, nutrient supplement, plant and animal reproduction, improvement in floriculture, micropropagation. Top 5 countries that planted biotech crops plotted on the graph with area and adoption rate. Mechanical traction used in farming improves agricultural productivity and reduces the labor cost as well. Energy technology and sustainable development. Considering energy technology and sustainable development, the 7th Sustainable Development Goal of United Nations emphasizes ensuring the access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. Facts and figures projected by UN: 13% of the global population still lacks access to modern electricity. 3 billion people rely on wood, coal, or animal waste for cooking and heating. Energy is the dominant contributor to the climate change, accounting for around 60% of total global greenhouse gas emissions. Indoor air pollution from using combustible fuel for household energy caused 4.3 million deaths in 2012. In 2016, the share of renewables increased at the fastest rate since 2012, up 0.24 percentage points, and reached almost 17.5% owing to rapid growth in hydropower, wind, and solar. United Nations in India estimated 75 million rural households, that is 45% of total rural households, do not have electricity according to the Government of India's 2011 census. 142 million rural households, almost 85% of total rural households, are dependent on traditional biomass fuel for cooking. Over 85% of energy consumed in the world comes from non-renewable fossil fuels, and our country is addicted to overseas energy as 80% of India's oil, 20% of India's coal, and 40% of India's uranium is being imported. This unsustainable rate of fossil fuel consumption will lead us to energy crisis by the end of the 21st century. Fuel switching does not happen overnight. Hence, the need of the hour is to switch to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, ocean, etc. at the earliest. Some of the emerging sustainable energy technologies. Solar energy technology. Solar panel efficiency is a measure of the amount of solar energy which falls on panel surface and is converted into electricity. Due to many recent advances in solar cell technology over the last 5 years, average panel conversion efficiency has increased from 15% to 20%. Reuters reported in 2018, Cochin International Airport is the world's first solar power airport and received the UN's 2018 Champions of the Earth Award. Wind energy technology. According to Center for Wind Energy Technology, the total wind potential is estimated to be around 45,000 megawatt, with continuous research and development, extensions and improvements in the grid, and advances in wind turbine technology. The potential is expected to increase in the future. Future wind generation technologies. Airborne wind energy, offshore floating wind concepts, smart rotors, wind turbine with tip rotors, multi-rotor wind turbines, diffuser augmented wind turbines. Replacing gasoline with biofuel. Many respected laboratories, agencies, and researchers have used a life cycle analysis to show that biofuels, particularly advanced biofuels, provide significant carbon benefits compared to gasoline. As per the research finding published in the journal Global Change Biology, scientists claim replacing gasoline with biofuel could cut global carbon emissions by around 80%. Combined solar wind power. Scientists at Washington State University are currently working on what is known as combined solar wind power, combining the solar energy and wind energy as a solution for the present energy crisis. More than 200 million people lives in rural areas of India without any access to grid-connected power. Thousands of villages are still unelectrified in India. Creating a hybrid model of solar and wind power can be ideal for rural implementation, since it integrates the capabilities of both the systems to provide uninterrupted electricity. Household transition to energy efficient lighting. New energy efficient lighting technologies can significantly reduce household electricity consumption and have conserved energy in an efficient manner. Environmental technology and sustainable development. The UN Environment Programme and Sustainable Development states the environment is at the core of each one of the sustainable development goals. People depend on nature for a wide range of products and services, and the increasing pressure on natural resources affects the millions of people who directly depend on them for their livelihoods. And the solution to pollution, climate change, and diversity laws critical to achieving the goals are entirely in our hands. While leaving no one behind, we must increase financing, scale up proven solutions, and invest in innovation. During the past few decades, humans have polluted air, water, and land on a very large scale, and a problem of pollution is spreading around the globe. Today, global warming and climate change have become hot topics. At the same time, advancements in science and technology is helping us to arrive at sustainable solutions to some of the environmental pollution problems that we are facing today. Some of the sustainable environmental technologies, sustainable wastewater treatment methods. An important part of the environmental degradation suffered by the planet is caused by the discharge of untreated or poorly treated wastewater. Industrial, urban, and agricultural wastewater contain many different types of pollutants such as biodegradable and not biodegradable organic matter, suspended solids, turbidity, nutrients, heavy metals, pesticides, pathogens, etc. All of these pose a threat to the environment and human health. So, these selected treatment techniques must be adapted to their nature in order to optimize their removal. Catalytic converters and diesel particulate filters. Technology has come up with catalytic converters and diesel particulate filters to be installed in vehicles to reduce the air pollution caused by the existing vehicles plying on the roads. Bacterial consortium. Accumulation of plastics have been identified as one of the biggest threats to the ecosystem due to the non-biodegradability and persistence of polyethylene for extended period of time. Therefore, there is a high scope to manage the plastic waste by eco-friendly, cost-effective approaches. Industries, pollution prevention and cleaner production. Major polluting industries are giving more importance to pollution prevention and cleaner production to minimize waste generation instead of the conventional end-of-pipe waste treatment technologies. This is not only efficient but also sustainable and cost-effective in the long run. Carbon dioxide capture and storage. To reduce carbon dioxide built up in the atmosphere, scientists and engineers who are working in the field of climate change have come up with technologies for carbon dioxide capture and storage in deep underground geological reservoirs and in oceans at greater depth in the form of mineral carbonates. Biomedical technology and sustainable development. United Nations, since its inception, has been actively involved in promoting and protecting health worldwide. Leading that effort within the UN system is World Health Organization, WHO. WHO's top priorities today would be relatively new diseases as HIV/AIDS, diabetes, cancer, and emerging diseases such as SARS, Ebola, and Zika virus. WHO is spearheading the international response to the coronavirus diseases. There have been hundreds of technological advancements in the disease-related biomedical field in the 20th and 21st centuries. Diseases that were previously considered deadly now have become relatively harmless. As a result, death rate and child mortality rate has decreased and the life expectancy has increased. In spite of all this, the reality that the humanity is still under threat of pandemic emphasizes the great need to equip more and more with developing efficient preventive measures. Communication, information technology and sustainable development. Information, education and communication technologies are seen as fundamental to achieve sustainable development. Today, education-focused technology application works seamlessly for online courses offered by universities globally. Video conferencing is an effective tool in the field of remote telemedicine. Communication devices such as radio, television, cellular phones, computers, computer networks, satellite systems, etc., are to be used to share the principles of sustainability, which has a greater access to the majority of global population. Space technology and sustainable development. Applications of space technology touch almost all aspects of our daily lives. Despite being a developing country, India has acquired eminence in world-class space science and has mastered modern space technology and its various applications for the benefits of society. Today, satellite data are used for locating potential fishing zones, prediction and early warning of extreme weather conditions, etc. This improves life of people and mitigate disasters as well. India has developed its own satellite navigation system. This service will benefit in disaster management, vehicle tracking, terrestrial and marine navigation. All these are great strides made in the space sector, helping us move towards sustainable development. Conclusion. Use of science and technology, wherever possible and appropriate, should be encouraged for sustainable development. Reference books. Thank you very much.